Welcome to Morning Infusion with Dr. V. Have you ever wondered what steps you could take to prevent nurse burnout? My name is Dr. Viola Pierce. I'm the owner and the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to teach nurses to leverage the knowledge that they already know working from their computers around the world, making money and owning their own time. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals and to show up exceptional on a daily basis. Know that one of the goals of Morning Infusion with Dr. V is to expose you to leaders that have overcome so that you know that the possibilities are endless. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment if you were ever told that you would not succeed. And remember to click the calendar link above if you want to create another stream of income and enroll in our 12-week course, VP Nursing Business Academy. Our special guest today is Miss Leola Wright. So Miss Leola Wright started her nursing journey 40 years ago. She started as an LPN, like I did, Precious, and received her BSN in 2003. She spent 20 of those years in home health care as a staff nurse and owner. She is the first African American to serve as president of her state's home care association. Leola has 5 grown children and a dog named Bumpy. So welcome, 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 Miss
Thank
Leola.
you. It's so wonderful to be here with you.
So now you have been a nurse for 40 years, as we've said. Now, what was your primary reasoning for becoming a nurse?
Well, ever since I was little, I just wanted to help people and make sure that I made a difference in the world. So I wanted to initially be a doctor, and then, but that's okay. Nursing was very good for me as well. So just I wanted to be in that caring industry because I could take care of people. Yeah, make them feel better.
I love it. I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
When I first became a nurse, I didn't want to be no nurse. I wanted to be a engineer, but that didn't work out. And so here I am, 28 years later. Hey, it worked. So so now you began as an LPN. So what made you go back for your RN degree?
Well, I was working in the emergency room as an LPN, and I was doing everything that the RNs were doing. And I thought, wait a minute, something's not right with this picture. I'm doing everything they're doing, but my check doesn't look, I know, not like. So I thought, if I need to go back to school, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. I always try to stay a step ahead. So once I saw the writing on the wall, I thought, no, yeah, let me get on back in there and get my RN, even if it's just associate. I just want to get that RN first, then I can go from there.
I love it. And that's one of the reasons why I went back as well was because I was in there. How long were you an LPN?
I was an LPN for about, I think, 6 years. Yeah.
I was an LPN for 10 years and I went back to school because of the fact that number one, um, the RNs would come in and they would make the assignment. And I was like, well, I, we not gonna keep giving me the bad assignments. That was gonna keep happening. and then and then we need to split this, okay? And then of course a paycheck. And then when I became an RN, I went down to the emergency department just in the very same way in which you did. And
Mhm.
I remember walking down there and there was this scene going on. And there was this young girl and she was pregnant and her mom didn't know that she was pregnant. And she ended up, it ended up that she was eclamptic and she ended up having a seizure. And I remember the physician walking in the room and just really saying to the mom, you got to get it together because we've got to take care of your daughter. And it was literal chaos, but it was controlled chaos, right?
Mhm.
And
Right.
because it was such controlled chaos, I was like, these are my people. But at
Yeah.
the time, you could not go down to the emergency department because I don't know how it works in your state, but in the state of North Carolina, the difference between the LPN and the RN is that an RN teaches and an RN can only do a first assessment, or at least that was the way that it was at that time. And so, if you wanted to work in the emergency department, then you had to have your RN, because that's all you do is first assessments and teaching. I mean,
That's
that's all you do in the emergency room. I mean, that's it, right? And so, I said, well, let me go back and get my RN degree. And so I decided to go back and get that for that reasoning. But I'm gonna tell you, I used to love that drama. I say it all the time. It's like a flea to a dog. I used to attract it to it.
I was the same way. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Yeah.
Now, early in your life, you had children. You were told that no one would want you because you have children. Who told you this? And how did
Yeah,
it impact your
I
life?
was. I was a teen mom before of two children actually before I graduated from high school. And one of my older brothers, one day, I don't even know what was happening. He probably, he just came by and he said, "Girl, no man is going to want you with these children." And I mean, that really stuck in my head. I mean, it was to him, well, later on, I realized he didn't even remember saying it. But for me, it impacted my life so much because I thought nobody's going to want me because I have my children. And I was even more dedicated to like make sure that I was always in a position to take care of my children because I'm thinking that's fine. But then what happened was when somebody did ask me to marry him that I wasn't in love with, he was 10 years older, I thought, this is it. This is my chance. My brother said, and I married him. And didn't go well, but at least I realized it early enough and just continued on my journey. But, it's so important that we remember or kind of go back and try to figure out some of these things. And I mean, it was just really once I realized how that statement had impacted the course of I had allowed it to impact the course of my life. We just have to be careful, what we say. And I could have hit him when he said, "Girl, I don't even remember telling you that." I'm thinking,
I know. And and I think that's fairly that is a great assessment what you said. Because people don't sometimes, I don't think that they understand that their words are very impactful to us. And
very
sometimes
important.
we have to be very intentional about not caring about what everybody else says about us. You know what I'm saying? And that is, it takes a lot to do that, right? It takes a lot for us to have that inner that inner emotional intelligence to be able to do that, because people used to say things to me all the time too, and I took it to heart, right? And the
Yeah.
reality is that that's their reality, is not mine. I need to have my own reality, right? And because I used to be like that, the very same way. People would say that, I'd be like, now I'd be like, look, what you not gonna do, what you're not gonna do is say that about me, okay?
Exactly. I'm totally different now as well. It's like, oh, you said, I don't, matter of fact, I really don't care what you think. So, I mean, but I learned the hard way, but now I'm so glad I'm where I'm at now. It's like, say whatever you want, think whatever you want. I know who I am. And, it took a long time to get there, but
Because other people's opinion about you is none of your business. It's
that's
none.
right.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
that. I'm going to have to remember that.
Your business. And literally when I heard that myself, I was like, okay, it ain't none of my business. Whatever
Yeah,
you think about me,
that's
you
not
keep
my
to yourself.
business.
It ain't none of my
Thank you
business.
for sharing that because I'm sure going to remember that.
And if someone has said, I really want to reach out to the audience. If someone has said something to you that has resonated and has held you back, give us, drop it in the comments what they have said to you that really, really held you back from being who your greatest being is,
Yeah.
for sure. Now, you began your own home health agency. How long were you a nurse before you started the agency?
I was an RN, so I probably would have been a nurse about 8 years at that point. After I graduated from RN school, I started to work for a home health agency, and didn't know anything about it. And but I really liked the freedom. I liked the fact that going into the elderly's home and and helping them. And I've always had this, I guess, this leadership, entrepreneurial spirit. So one day I'm like, I can do this, you know. And so what I did was I continued to work and everything, but at night I took those Medicare regs and state regs, and I mean I was falling asleep with them. I learned those things backwards and forwards, you know, while I was working. Because when I first started in home health, of course, it's like, oh, well, I'll just do this because we say so. Well, I'm like this person, no, I need to see what the regulations say I'm supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do, how the patient should be treated and so forth. So I just threw myself into that and I just fell in love with home health. And I did start, you know, so we started out with a family home health, and then I branched off to further my vision and with my own.
I
So,
love that background, because the reality is that some people don't realize that, like, the background work that you do, beforehand, right? Or even during the process, because
right.
it is a lot of
Oh, it's a
Right.
lot of
It's a lot of
work.
work.
You know, to the outside, it probably seemed like she just jumped up and her policies was together. Her this, no, I had it didn't happen like
But
that.
but understanding that, business, you can either, I'm a firm believer that you can either be in business for yourself
Mhm.
and, elevate your own dream, or either be in business for someone else and do theirs. And the reality is that, you want to do what you want to do, the thing that you would do if nobody pays you to do it. That's the
That's
thing that you just want to be, you just want to monetize that thing, and it
exactly.
works out so much better. I love it. So now, after you started the business, you became burnout. What were some of the reasons that you think that this occurred?
Oh my goodness. It was, I mean, running a business alone is very, I mean, it didn't start out that way. I mean, it kind of like crept up on me, you know? It's like, okay, I'm sitting here thinking, you know, I'm doing the billing and, you know, I have help. Is payroll is Friday, the Medicare check. You know, every day you're looking at the bank, is a check gonna meet payroll? I mean, all of that pressure and all of the things that you have to go through as far as making sure you're compliant. And I was really a stickler on the regulations. I mean, during my 7 years of my last agency, I never had a deficiency. That probably was another reason I burned out, because I was so just determined to do everything right and make sure all my people that worked for me was like family to me. My patients were like my grandmother and my you know, and so I was putting out everything, but nothing was coming back in to me. You know, I didn't have anyone to fill me up, or I could not let my people know at work, you know, that I was worried about anything. So I had to, you know, smile on my face and then come home and slide down the wall by myself.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
Wow.
basically that's what. And one day I just woke up one day and it's like I got ready to go to work and I just couldn't do it. I could not do anything. It's like all I could do was just go back to bed. And I ended up having to sell my company because I was completely burned out. I mean, yeah,
Wow. Wow. That's some good advice. And, and the thing about it is that we have to have people that pour back into us. We have to have mentors. We have to have coaches. And I think that that's an undervalued, thing in the world today, right?
yeah,
We some people are very intent on, being purchasing, or, pouring back into themselves, or,
yeah.
thinking that that is a thing, or thinking that, or being okay with that. Some people are okay with that, but the reality is that it is necessary in order for your growth, right? It is necessary for your growth. And that's something that I didn't think of when I first became a owner of my own business. I didn't think that I needed. I was like, I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I needed somebody to help me with this.
That was me. I thought, oh, it's gonna be. I can do this. I don't need any help. Not now. I'm gonna yeah, not now. Not anymore.
I mean, and it's a consistent investment, right? Because I believe that if you're going to be a coach, and you need to coach yourself, it is a consistent investment. And I'm okay with that, because I'm okay with learning, because it's an everyday process. And
Right.
there's something new that we have to learn all the time. So I'm
Oh,
super excited. I
yeah.
love it. I love it. So now, What are some of the lessons that you learned during this time, and what advice would you give to the audience if they're thinking about going this route into entrepreneurship?
Oh, I am so excited about anyone going into entrepreneurship. That just makes me perk up because I think that we, especially as women, we need to, even if we're married, I think we need to have our own something that says this is mine, you know. So that's a great thing. I think the main thing is to not think you can do it all yourself. I'm going to tell you all the things I didn't do. Okay. So ask for help when you need it, you know, and try to surround yourself with people that will give you support, especially if it's an area that you're not aware of and you don't have that much information and maybe you never worked in, then you really need that coach or that mentor, you know, to help you so you won't burn out. And then take time for yourself, you know, and you have to kind of in your mind figure out a way to, this is my business, but over here is my life. So we've got to separate. We can't just keep, even if you're working from home, it's easy to get all that mixed up and thinking I'm at home, but I'm working, and you can burn out. So just try to separate that, take time out for yourself, make sure you do self-care. And that's more than just getting our nails done and stuff like that. This is mental self-care. This is taking time to just take a deep breath and look back at our lives. And then we need to do assessments. I mean, as nurses, we assess other people, but we need to do self-assessments often so we can see what am I doing when I start feeling like my shoulders are all tense or my neck is, you know, what am I doing? You know, how many hours am I actually at the computer or over here? And then see if we can cut some of that down, because most of the time we can. A lot of times that ego may get in the way and we think, I got to get this done. Nobody can do it but me. Yeah, they will when you're laid out like I was in the bed and can't move.
That's right. That's right.
Energy goes on.
That's
So
right.
you got to remember, whether we have children or not, we have family, we have loved ones we need to be around for, and we can't help anybody if we're helpless. I mean, in a state of where we can't help ourselves, we can't help anybody else. So it's really hard to move forward with that vision that God has put in you if you're not taking care of you. You know, one thing that I learned is when I was on the other side of burnout, trying to heal and get better and stuff, it's like God spoke to me and said, like, did I ask you to be me? Did I ask you to go out and did I tell you that you had to, oh, this person don't have anything to eat, go run and did I tell you? And I thought, oh my goodness, I had kind of flipped it. Like it was my lot in life to meet the needs, you
I
know,
love those.
dun, 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 you know, that kind of.
Superwoman, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wish I had a picture here to show you when Superwoman hit flat.
That's right. That's right. You
I
know,
not stress enough about self-care.
now one of the things that I do on Sunday, so on Sunday is my rest day. So on
Uh-huh.
Sunday, what I do is and I have to be intentional about this. And one of the things that my coach told me to do as well, because what I would do is I would sit and I would listen. I would still take in information, and you have to be very intentional about not taking in information at that
Yes.
point. You have
Yes.
to be very intentional, because when I take in information and that sparks an idea in me, and then I want to go and write it down, and I want to, be in the process of working, and that is not self care.
That's my self-care.
And so I'm very intentional about like listening to music, listening to, comedy that's, foolish, right? Just doing that thing that doesn't require my brain in it, doesn't require me to use it. So what are some of the things that you do as far as self-care is concerned?
Well, in the morning time, when I wake up, usually I make sure that I just have this like 30 minutes, an hour to just myself. I don't even try to think about anything or grab, because I learned that there's certain things I have to do as far as setting boundaries and kind of controlling my own life and keeping my mind. So I try to make sure I give myself that quiet time, whether it's meditation, I have I like calm, so sometimes I have that on the music, just will play it. So I do that, and then during the course of the day, I I really make sure that I listen to my body. You know, when my body starts saying you've even thought about this stuff too much, or it's time to take a break. Because I learned my lesson. Like my mom said, you keep on, you're hard headed, you're gonna learn your lesson. So I learned my lesson. And so now what I do is make sure that I am not happy. Okay. I'm not saying I'm putting myself before God or anything, but I make sure that what I do makes me happy. It's not like whether it's going to make somebody else happy. I have to be happy first. I have to be content. I have to be, I love my quiet, peaceful time. I'm kind of introverted, but my mind is always going, so I have to really do things. One of the things that I learned to do, and my kids would talk to me about this all the time, and they're like, but I started watching movies that had, foreign movies because or dramas because I had to read the words. So it made me focus on the movie, not all these thoughts flying in and out of my head. And so
Ah,
I would start doing that. And so I got into Korean drama and, Chinese drama where I would have to read the words. So I had to focus to know what was going on. And that's probably sounds silly, but that was my way. It really worked for me to hone in and just let all this other stuff that's trying to keep coming in because my head's full, full of ideas. And like you said, if you listen to something, it's like, I could do that.
like back down, sister. Okay, it's your day to rest. Okay.
So that was just something I learned to do that really helped me, to because I had the anxiety and I went through the depression with my burnout. And so now I know my triggers, my boundaries I have to set for myself. And I know when my body is saying, well, whoa, whoa, it's time for you to slow down. Yeah. So
Now, you mentioned that you were suicidal as well. So, what are some of the things that you did to move past these emotions or that time
oh,
period?
that dark period of depression was just it's something I hadn't experienced before. And I really had to seek medical help for that. That was something I had to go to my doctor, and she did put me on some antidepressants. And then I went to therapy for a long time to help me get my mind to the point where I could then kind of rationally think and come out of that dark place. I know medication may not be for everybody, but I think it's on the individual basis and what stage you are in your life or in your depression. But I needed it at that time to come out. So once I did that and came out of that, and then there was days that during the depression time that it was like my mind was at war with itself. I had this voice saying, why are you still here? Just go in there and just end it all. And then I would hear another voice that says, remember the plans that I have for
And for
you.
you,
And I'm
the plans for you to prosper.
hey, like you shall live and not die. I was like, all right then, hey. And so I clung to that, and God just continued to speak with me and just to guide me out of that because I knew that even though I was going through that, once I got myself together, I knew that whatever I was going through was going to be used to help other people. My testimony was going to be to help. It was going to break the chains off of some other women, some that suffered in silence, because I suffered in silence because who was I going to talk to? Who understood? The one thing I want to say, if I have time, is that depression, there is no test. There is like diabetes. You can draw blood and see how blood sugar is, and everybody believe you're a diabetic. Take your blood pressure, it's high. Everybody believe you got hypertension. Tell them you're depressed and you get all these, oh, well, you just need to do this and you just need to do that. Why don't you just go to the gym? I can't even get out of bed. What are you talking about? Go to the gym.
No,
You know what I mean?
no.
And really, if you don't approach people right, you may not even realize what stage they're in, but some of the responses I got made me kind of drift backwards. So you have to be really careful and just kind of listen to people and see where they were. So yeah, it took me a lot to get out, but hey, I made it.
I love it. My husband has he has spoke up on YouTube, and he says, I'm very proud of her. She is a blessing to a lot of people. So
Yeah.
he's very proud of you.
I'm sorry,
No, he's talking about you. Yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Now, you have recently started a coaching program. Tell us about that and what was the primary reason why you decided to take on
that
coaching?
was a result of me of my burnout journey too. It was I had started Leola Empowers Women because I wanted to, in my I wanted to reach out to women. I wanted to provide a safe space for women to be able to share. I mean, I'm vulnerable now. I don't mind sharing with anybody on any platform about what I've been through because I know it's not for my glory, it's going to reach other people. But there's women that in silence and they don't feel like anybody understands them. They don't feel like anybody understands how they feel. Their spouse may not, or they may not have a spouse. They may be a single mom, or they just on the go. And they don't realize how close they are to just burning out completely. And so my purpose is to reach as many as I can to say, hey, I understand. I understand the depression. I understand the anxiety. I understand. You can come here. You can talk to me and you can, So that's my purpose, to reach as many women as I can, to coach them if they want to be coached so I can spend time with them. Because this process of going back, reevaluating your life, trying to figure out where I think I had mentioned to you before, I feel like there's like invisible strings of our past that some strings we break loose of. We just let it go. But there's other ones that we don't realize are there until something really happens and you realize that all your life, like when my brother told me that all my life, that string has stayed in my life until I went back and cut that. And now, but it's a process. So it's not anything that I can say, okay, I'm gonna be with you 6 weeks and you're gonna be good. No, it's a long process and it takes a lot. So that is my purpose. I know it is. God put that in my heart, and that's why He brought me through and kept telling me that I will live and not die, because there's certain people assigned to you, there's certain people assigned to me, and I'm not going to stand before Him and say, I missed that one because I didn't feel like getting up that day to do nothing. I didn't
Right.
feel like doing this. I just don't want to be that kind of person. I want to fulfill what He has, His calling He has for me. So.
And I think that when you go through things, if you think about it in this manner, right? If you think about it that what you're going through is not for you. What you're going through is for the next person that you will help to get through that thing, right? And I think that going through it with that type of mentality changes their perspective. It changes how you look at that thing that you're going through. It's just so that you can help the next person, right? And literally it will help you get through that thing that you have
Oh,
to
it
go
will.
through.
It definitely will.
I
It
mean,
really does.
I love it. I love it. Now, where can my audience find you?
Oh, okay. They can find me at my website is www.leolaempowerswomen.com. So you can
Sweet.
find me there, or on Instagram at Leola Empowers, and just check my bio, and I have some links in there. So yeah, that's
I'm
really
super
important.
excited. I'm super excited about this connection. You are amazing, Miss Leola.
Oh,
Thank you.
I'm excited and thankful that you allowed me to be on your platform. I
Thank
feel
you. Thank you.
blessed.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm the one. So my name is Dr. Viola Pierce. I am the CEO and the founder of CP. I was looking at one of these comments.
Oh,
I don't know what that comment was about. But anyway, so my name is Dr. Viola Pierce. I am the CEO and the founder of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to teach nurses to leverage the knowledge that they already know working from their computers around the world, making money and owning their own time. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals and to show up exceptional on a daily basis. Know that one of the goals of Morning Infusion with Dr. V is to expose you to leaders that have overcome so that you know that the possibilities are endless. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment if you were ever never told that you would not succeed. And remember to click the calendar link. We have VP Nursing Business Academy is opening April 8th. The last day will close April 5th. So I encourage you to come. We only have 20 slots. They are filling up fast. So it's going to be an amazing course. I can't wait. So click the calendar link and enroll in our 12-week course, VP Nursing Business Academy. You guys have a phenomenal rest of your day. Thank you.